Well, let's jump right into it with our last place entry. It's Coin Master with Snowman, and those are definitely some scores, alright. And that's definitely an entrance. I don't think you can avoid that unless you do some quick weapon switching at the start. Well, I mean, it did get a 6% overall average, so, yeah, it's better than 0. Barely. Also, take a look at this part with the big eye here and the 3-block wide spike gap. Can't do that. You have to get the hit. You don't have to slide through the wall that was invisible and fall to the floor, but yeah. One thing I'm going to say right now is that Tier 1 is an entire replay, and I'm basically trying to recreate how I played this my first time with some of the filler cut out, because the first time I did this, those Yoku spikes got me. Then I fell through the floor. It didn't take long before I tried to figure out how to get through this, because if you try to make that jump that you see there on the ground, you can't do it. At least not normally. You need wheel cutter. And I was not ready to start using that at the time to climb walls. In fact, the one time I did, I missed and was kind of stuck in a loop on the top of a wall. And then you just fall to your death anyway. Yeah, this is a stage, alright. So right now I'm kind of anti-wheel cutter. That'll change as the playthrough goes on. Lots of invisible blocks. I gotta say, the level design for this one's kind of, yeah. Those Gemini Man enemies that I've never been good at fighting, because I always loved jumping into the fire blast. But at least it's kind of short. And when I think of snow, I think of a sandstorm. Oh, this level just makes me just go, why? I think you can see why it's getting last place. Wish I would have been a little quicker here, because I wanted to get up to that energy element while the sandstorm was going on. But, yeah, there's your introduction to the Make a Good Mega Man Level Contest 2 stages, which I'm going to call Mega Mole 2 from now on. What did you think? Yeah. Well, let's see what the judges have to say. Yeah, sandstorms and snow areas, that would be why global warming does exist. Possibly. That's actually a good question. I wonder if this was submitted as a joke, because I don't know. If it is the person's first level, though, I'm not going to get too annoyed. Then again, I'm not going to get annoyed with any of these. I forgot I did that at the end. Always have to time it with the music. Those comics will only be showing up for the very, very bad levels. It'll go away eventually. Just like I hope Joe goes away. But, next. Arbade. Cardinal Man. Well, the score's almost doubled already. And in fact, we have our first double-digit rating with the 12 there from Pyro. Yeah. There's more than one exit in this stage. Also, I love how the ice blocks start melting before you teleport in there. Nope, Triple Blade is not the answer. It is a ground-based enemy, Mega. There you go. Don't worry about it. Wheel Cutter is good. I guarantee you by the time we get through this, I will love all of the weapons that were chosen in this game. The first time I saw that guy, I actually did make it on this ladder, luckily, because I was on the very left of him, because it goes high speed, and guess what? That black and red fence, that's instant kill. How you guys doing down there? You quickly figure out that these blue columns are actually ladders, at least I hope you do, or otherwise you're going to be stuck for a little bit. It's kind of tough at times to figure out where to go. Not here, though. Although I am so glad I did not use Super Arrow for this, or otherwise, yeah, that would have ended in a disaster. Okay, it looks like they want us to go up at first. And you kind of get a random ladder there. Keep that in mind for a little bit later on. Yep, more Gemini Man enemies. And that Met is from the Bandai Wonderswan game, as was the bullet we saw trapped down below in the ice in the room with the seal. These jumps are not possible. You just aren't making them, so get Rush or Super Arrow and get to flying. Well, there's our first instance of a cheating Joel. Hope your fire finger is pretty fast there, or otherwise he's probably going to jump right on you. Well, it's one of my few advantages when it comes to these Mega Man games. And sure enough, there's our first energy element. That went pretty well, but there's 2 more to get, and you gotta go back to the very start. We'll just edit it ourselves right here. This one originally was the one I found last, because it didn't occur to me that, well, you can climb the other blue column right away. And that's an easy second one. Wish I wouldn't have got hit there, or it would have been a perfect clear. But didn't happen. Oh well. And our third energy element, let's go back to the first Rush Jet section. Meet up with Eddie, who's nice enough to give us an E-Tank first. Yeah, I mentioned something about that ladder. You know what's right below this screen? Well, it'd be a pit. At least that's programmed to be like that. And have you ever played Super Mario Bros. 2? I hope you have. It's a good game. If you try to go down a ladder without holding onto it, that happens. Yeah, you have to hold on to it in this spot. It's kind of funny, too, because from this point on, I've seen in other playthroughs, you can fly Rush Jet to the right, even though it's not in this screen, and you can drop down to the area you're supposed to go. It's very confusing. You'd think it'd be a pit again, but it's not. But no, the obvious solution, and the one I chose when I played this, was to just, well, pull out the wrong version of Rush. But yeah, I want to get to flying. And the thing I did here was play it a little smart. The first time around, we had to go up. So naturally, my brain's saying, okay, when I see all these enemies, let's go down. And that turned out to be the right idea, because if you stay up there and you get hit while you're on Rush, you will fall off him. Yeah, this isn't some Mega Man 3 Rush Jet. It's more like Mega Man 7-ish. Ah, another Bandai Wonderswan enemy. From Camuso Man stage, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I played that one. That one was a train wreck. I've thought about doing that as a real series, but you know what? Let's worry about getting through this one first. This is going to be a long one. And here, we get to see that, yes, indeed, 1-ups restore your health all the way. It's kind of funny, too, because this has a slope here. That's not something you can fall through, even when you're walking up. And the first stage, Snowman, had the funny gimmick of the sandstorm. I think these are the only 2 instances. Actually, no, I remember a slope in one other stage. Nice little shutter there. But it's kind of interesting how that works. I don't know who Cardinal Man is. I understand why Chillman's here, though, because the song for this stage is Cheer Nose from Mega Mari. Haven't played that one ever, but I've seen it enough. Hey, I hope you get Triple Blade ready, because you can't move until that health bar fills up, and that big eye will be right on top of you if you're not. Chillman actually fights from his hard mode pattern, from Mega Man 10. That can make him a pain in the backside at times, because he gets to throw 3 chill spikes at once. And he is usually good at hitting me with them normally, so yeah, 3 makes him kind of a pain. We took care of him, but yeah, now we gotta get up to that energy element. And this is kind of tricky. You'd think you could do that at first, but no, that's not gonna work. Hornet Chaser will not grab energy elements either. It won't collect major items for you. So yeah, you've got to figure out a way up there. So what are we supposed to do here? You might be thinking to yourself, well, we could triple blade or wheel cutter the enemies away, and you'd be right. But what do you do to get over to that energy element? Well, time to bring out our secret weapon. This took me a minute or two to figure out the first time I did this, by the way. Yeah, the Sakugarne can travel on spikes. And it can get us out of this one. I still wonder why that was called Cardinal Man. At all. That was a snow level. Yeah. You and I are on the same page. 3, by the way, is... Yeah, that's pretty much my answer, although you can add a little bit more to it. I'd pretty much go, nope. Oh, brother. These levels are getting kind of funny, huh? Well, our next level is actually going to be a little better, so I'm kind of glad for that. Please quit talking to that up and down, Mega Man. I know you love them, but please, let's just carry on. With our 78th place level. Alex 9000 with Quirky, Unconsistent, that's not a word, Incomprehensible, Nonsensical track. With a name like that, I'm thinking Quint's gonna be in this stage. Or we're at least gonna use the Sakugarne. So, let's see. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that there are 3 energy elements maximum that you can have in a stage. That was the rules of the contest here. Or that was a rule, anyway. 2 of the songs you're going to hear quite a bit of in the early going are the Galaxy Man theme and Pharaoh Man one from Mega Man 2.5D. I think they were the placeholder songs in this game. Nope. Yeah, there's no Sakugarne. I got to find out in my first run there. Also, nice camera work there. Hey, Joe. Not going to get hit by you. It's kind of an interesting one, and like I said, you're going to be hearing these songs quite a bit, at least in the early going. Still, I will say that aside from the camera, this stage isn't that offensive. And in fact, it's a pretty good demo for using Slash Claws you're going to see right here. Bye, Joe. Although there's one enemy right here that is not really good on, because it's just better to shoot him from afar. No way to get to that ladder, since again, all we have is the Mega Buster and Slash Claw. No utilities. So we get to play a little more with the camera angles. It can be very confusing. The first time I did this level, I also went to the left, because that's always my MO in this game. It's like I've played Donkey Kong Country Returns. Always go left in these platformers first. There's an M-Tank that I'm not completely sure how to reach. I'm not sure if you're supposed to get hit by those count bombs and then slide over, because the spike blocks are insta-kill. I just don't know if you can survive them if you get hit on something. Now, coming up a little bit later here is a small gray opening that I think you can fit through, but I'm not sure on that, right there. I'm assuming that's the way to get to the M-Tank, but I never really went back and tried. Also, I hope you like sliding, because that's the only way you're getting through this in one piece. All of a sudden, when the enemies go away, it gets kind of weird. As does when the song ends like that. Yep, I saw that big old Met dispenser. The way you're supposed to take this out, and the way I did the first time, is to use Slash Claw and use the blocks and slash its glass dome. This time around, I decided to be a little crazy and try to battle it Mega Buster only. Honestly, I think if I wouldn't have been hit by the frog enemy from Yamato Man stage, I would have done that because, again, I was trying to do these no damage runs early. It rarely works out for me. As you'd expect, I have no idea what was going to happen coming in. Even in the replay, though, it's like, yeah. It can be a little tough, because like I said, if all of Tier 1 was done like this, and by the way, what's in our next video was also a replay, I think it's around the time Tier 2 starts that it's like, yeah, that's when I know. Or go back and I saw that I did something really silly. I put the mute recording key on the same button as my weapon switching. Just like how I've got the slide key mapped to the pause button, which is why the only way I slide right now is with down and jump instead of, well, key. Also, good job, that only took me 3 tries to get that, but that's it. Decent enough level. I mean, better than the first 2 at least. Yeah, definitely an attempt, but that empty hallway was weird. That was probably my least favorite part of the stage, next to the Dustman blocks and the camera. Yeah, Gariri's going all in on these sometimes. It definitely is a glitchy level, at least with that camera. Whew. And my favorite part was also the 2 mini-bosses. So, yeah, well, and slicing Joe in half. Yeah. I like how Ace Sparks comics just get right to the point, other than the This Is Fine one. Also, I found something when I was doing this. A reference to the original Make-A-Good Mega Man level. The last place level was literally a 6-7 screen drop that you just stayed in the middle for, and you get the energy element. This one just loops when it does the Super Mario 64 staircase. That never changes, by the way. Also, you can talk to that Joe in the upper right corner of the last room if you use Super Arrow, and he says, "Why are you stuck in the wall?" or something to that effect. You know what? Let's just move on to our next level, which is actually my Tier 1 favorite. Zayalex with Mix and Match. You can see the scores are getting pretty good. We've tripled up from where we started. And it has our first little black star item, too. I'd say it's an optional collectible, but not in my kind of a run, because you know I'm going to be going for 100% of those. I'll just spoil it now and say those are called Noble Nickels. You can have up to 5 of those in a stage. That's the only one, though, in Tier 1 that we're going to be collecting a bit later on. A lot of enemies here. Oh, and the reason this stage looks like this, I found out after the fact, is that this is the default tile set of the game. Still, the fact that it's my favorite level says there's at least something going on here. What you wanted to do there, by the way, was hang on to the ladder. Because that enemy that pole vaults will not get you there. Also, you kind of wanted to stay up top, because guess what? There's the Noble Nickel right there. Whoops. Getting hit a couple times there. Well, multiple ways to get this one, but I think Super Arrow's the best because that'll let us get out of this room pretty quickly. Yeah, it's definitely a random assortment of enemies here, and that can be a little confusing. You see the Sakagarne thing there, you might think you have to use that, but no, you're fine just sliding through the oil. Nothing ever gets lit on fire. And that's it. Well, it's definitely a mix and match kind of stage, that's for sure. It just worked, at least for a Tier 1 stage. Yeah, I agree with you. I'd like to see a completed version of that stage, too. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't bother me as much as the other stages, that's for sure. Now, remember when I said that one level was disqualified? It's that one. That person did something outside of this contest that is pretty irredeemable for me. Not playing it, but I am playing this one. Ninja Umbreon's Ancient Tomb in 75th place. Our first instance of a 0 score, though. I wonder why that is. See if you can figure it out as we go along this one. Also, for those keeping score in the music department, Pharaoh Man with 2, Galaxy Man with 2. Yeah, does this stage look familiar to you all? Very well might. Yeah, this is a pretty blatant edit of a certain stage in the Mega Man series. I can't quite put my finger on it, though. Yeah, it is just Pharaoh Man stage. I can't even pretend to go along with that joke. I mean, there are obviously some differences, but it's so minimal that it's like, yeah. There were a lot of judges that said it after the fact in their own videos on this series that they were wondering why they didn't disqualify the stage. I mean, at least it was an attempt by throwing in different enemies, but it doesn't really work. I would have loved to have seen just a little more level design, because as it is, it's barely even a hack of the level. There is one major change to this stage, though, at the end, I also found out from the judges. Still, we got just a little bit more to go before we get there. Not much you can say about a stage that's pretty much like the original. Random Mega Man 5 Charge Man enemy. Better hurry up, though, and get on that thing before it goes on without us. Also, the one thing I'm very good at is not paying attention to the mummies here. Just figured I'd say that. No reason to get that weapon pellet, though, because in the original version of this stage, there is a boss to fight, but you can kind of tell once we jump through here, nada. It's just the energy element. Okay. That's the highest rated level in Tier 1 there. I mean, it still works, it's functional. It's just once you realize that it's pretty much a rip-off, that it's like, yeah. Yeah. I guess the thing I should say right now is that as Mix and Match was my favorite Tier 1 stage, this one was my least favorite one, mainly for the reasons Gariri said. And a spark here. But with that, we have cleared all of Tier 1's regular stages. But we're still not done, because the first 9 tiers in this game have one of these. Yep, there are bosses in this one, just like the first game. So, let's see who they brought along for this one. And believe me, they can be from anywhere in the Mega Man series. Let's go! I actually did that screen transition there because I got interrupted during the middle of the fight there. And just had to redo it. So. Oh, you. Ah, it's a meme game boss. He is very easy milk here. In fact, other than jumping that cross ring attack right at the start, I don't think you have to jump in this entire fight. I mean, it certainly makes things easier. He's got a decent pattern. Yep, that is a glass of milk, all right. Looks more like a block of milk to me. I wonder if it is a block of milk. I don't know. Just avoid the rainbow ring, and then he'll fly on up, shoot a bunch of rings at you, do the triple ice thing as he comes down, and you know what? That's it. His pattern's really repetitive and very easy. I don't think you'll have many problems with the Tier 1 boss. And hey, you get a free energy element out of it, so let's take it and get out of here. I was kind of hoping there was a way to exit the tier just from the end here, but that's not how it works. There will be an option for fast travel later on, though, that just gets us right on out of here if you want. Still going to be a little bit before that, though, so we got to do things a long way. I figure we might as well get set up for our next video. That's how I always like doing these. So, come on and get on out of there, Mega, and we will never have to see this tier again. At least we got everything there, and I couldn't be happier for that fact. You don't say. I'll be watching you, pal. I'm watching you. Auto actually has a different line of dialogue. In fact, a lot of robots get some different lines as you move on. I won't be showing all of those off, though. Otherwise, this game would be even longer than it is. I'm not sure getting energy elements is really wasting time. Well, okay. Flashman's not kidding, because you can see right there, Tier 5 is next to Tier 1. The first 5 tiers themselves are all out of order like that. Once you get to Tier 6, though, it goes back to a regular little deal there. Also, that is a reference to the first Make a Good Mega Man level contest, where Concrete Man was somehow in a Kalinka costume. Don't ask me how, it's a video game. It's kind of funny looking at this because the game has been updated since, and will show your bolt total in the bottom of the screen now instead of just being like, you have this. It's like it's a lot more functional looking. Yeah, they're on version 1.31 at the time I'm saying this, instead of me starting day 1 the game came out recording this. I will move on up to 1.2 though, by the time we get closer to the end. But yeah, I think it's about time to head on over to Tier 2, and that is where we will end wait a minute, what is that? You know, these arena matches sound kind of fun. Maybe we should take them on, because guess what? We're going to be fighting all the dev kit bosses there. That way you'll get to see who they are and what they're weak to. So you know what? Before we go on to Tier 2, I think next time we're going to take on this very first arena. Should be a lot of fun, huh? I'll see you there.